Hey guys, welcome to my first ever battle report on the channel. So it's Walking Dead and it's a solo battle report, so we're still in lockdown, as you can tell by my hair. I'm going to be playing through this, which is the Read This First starter book, and we're going to be playing a scenario where Derek, leader of the scavengers, has sent Patrick and Sandra out on a supply run to a warehouse. So it's a 10 by 10 inch board, which is quite claustrophobic. There's a few walkers and it's only in the basics of it. I'm going to play it through. If you know any rules, anything like that, please let me know. I'm letting in as best I can. But yeah, it seems like it's a good fun game. I've had a couple of practice games and I've got to admit the walkers are surprisingly good when they get sort of multiple on you. So let's see what happens. Patrick and Sandra, it's 40 points, 3 walkers. Okay, so let's get going. So we've got Patrick and Sandra ready to try and scavenge some supplies, and there are 3 walkers in the warehouse. So basically I win if I collect all 3 of these and don't die, which is obviously very handy. So we've got dice rolling tray ready to go, so let's see what happens. So survivors have 2 moves, sneak and run. So sneak doesn't create noise, which attracts a walker. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sneak Sandra that way. There's no noise generated there, so no walks pulled in. But Patrick does it, as the hard man that he is, because he's got a bat, he's going to go charging over there. So he's going to run past that walker. What that does is it generates noise. So the closest eligible walker, which is this one, would shamble 6 inches in a straight line directly towards him. So, now that the movement phase is first done, we now go on to the event phase. So, events, the first thing we do is draw a card. So we are at currently low threat on the threat tracker. So for roamers, each player moves 1 eligible walker in a direction of their choice. Now because I'm playing solo, it has to be towards one of my survivors. So what I'm going to do, if we look on this one, I've got a shambles. He's going to shamble towards Sandra. So now that the event card's drawn, we would check kill zones. And a kill zone it's an area over a walker that's unengaged and eligible. If there was a survivor under that, they'd click into them and sort of snap into combat with them, but there's not. So we're now onto the combat phase. So threat tracker now goes up 1 to 5 because I've got models in combat, and we actually get to see what we can do. So let's start over here then. So we've got Patrick. He rolls a white dice for melee, or he could defend and roll 2 red. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and actually kill this walker. So I'm going to roll white dice for melee. Brilliant. So 2 hits and a headshot. And a walker defends with a red dice. With 1. So it's a really simple system. We set that away. So 2 with a headshot becomes 1 with a headshot. It's enough to kill the walker. So the 1 damage would normally knock over. A headshot means he's cracked it over the head. Splat. That walker's removed from the game. So we've killed 1, finally. Guys, I played this game like 3 times before I actually recorded it and died every time. Go on, Patrick. What a winner. So, over to Sandra. Now, Sandra's got a special ability, which is called Nimble. So she could roll the black dice and see if she can actually get out of combat. She seems to be more of a collector, run around, things like that. So, on a badge, I get to move 1 inch away. So you've got badge and blank. So, blank. She doesn't anyway. So, for combat, it's red versus red. So I'm going to actually defend with Sandra. So she gets to roll a white defense dice against the walker. So the defense, she scores 1, and the walker scores 1 as well. In a draw, the survivors win. So all that happens is we just break them up an inch and move the walker back. So that's the end of the turn. In the end turn, if there are any walkers down, we roll to see if they stand up, things like that. But there's not. So it goes on to the next turn. Because I'm playing solo, threat tracker goes up. We're now at threat 6. Still in low threat. Okay, so I think Patrick is going to move into contact with this box and use the second action to pick it up. What happens then? We draw a supply card. So he's got an ammo reload for a ranged weapon. Brilliant. Well done, Patrick. He's going to just store that in his pack. We'll put it on the side like that. So it's in his pack. Just means if he had a handgun or a pistol, he could reload it. So that's one thing. Well done, Patrick. What is she going to do? So Sandra. I think what we're going to do is we're going to run that way. like that, which will generate noise and draw that walker into her. Okay, so you can use the sort of noise generation quite tactically, and that will be their turn. The movement and action phase is done. So we're now on to the event phase. So the first thing we always do, draw an event card. Won't stay down. So we're at low threat. For each prone walker, roll a black. Well, there are no prone walkers, so we add 1 to the threat level, so we're now at threat 7. Still in low threat, thankfully. And now we check kill zones. So the only unengaged walkers are this one, and he's obviously way out of kill zone of anyone. Okay, so on to the combat phase. Sandra's feeling a bit brave this time, I think, so she's going to try and attack this walker. She rolls 1 red, and we got a hit. It's better than nothing. And the walker rolls 1 for defence. It's a draw again. She pushes the walker back. It's the end of the turn. Threat goes now up to 8. We're almost into medium threat, and it's over to the next turn. What are we going to do? So I think Patrick's feeling a bit hard. He's going to actually go into that walker, and he'll attack it in the melee phase, and Sandra is going to go into that and pick it up. See what it is. And she's found a hockey stick. So she adds red to melee attack rolls. And we're going to put that in Sandra's hand. Brilliant. So, that's her turn over. It's now the event phase. The hunger. So +1 threat straight away. Takes us now into medium threat. Medium threat, each player rolls blue and moves that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor. So we're going to roll blue. 1, typical. So, Shambles range actually puts him into Sandra because she's the closest. So, what we're going to do now, we'll do some combat. So I think we're going to start with Sandra. She seems to be on a roll. So she has a red melee normally, and then an extra red for a hockey stick. So she's going to try and bosh this walker over the head. Let's see what she rolls. A 1. My dice rolling is appalling, by the way, guys. Defense for the walker's red, so it's a draw again. So she just pushes him back with a hockey stick, which is quite cinematic, isn't it? Patrick, however, he's feeling a bit tasty. He rolls white for melee, so he's going to attack this walker as well. 1. Walker's defense. So the walker's attack is actually better. So we take 1 away, and so it leaves a headshot and a bite. So what that means is Patrick's pushed back. He takes 1 damage normally, an additional 1 for the headshot, and he's bitten. Now bitten will come into play later on at the end phase. And also we forgot just to put the tracker up by 1, because there was models in combat. Okay, so it's now the end phase. So poor Patrick has had a bit of a nibble. We roll the black dice. On a black nothing, on a badge he takes a damage. So he takes the damage as he starts to succumb, so he's now got 1 health point remaining, and he's still bitten. Where's Rick with his hatchet? Okay, so, however, I think we may be okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to activate Patrick first, and he's going to run. And he's going to run over here, which generates noise. The closest walker will be that guy. I'll shambles into that. Now the key here is Sandra in sneak range. Yeah, I think she is. So she's going to sneak into there and pick that up. So we've got all 3 objectives, but I'm just going to play through to the end of the turn. So let's see what was in that box. A tire iron. Well, she loves weapons. Adds white to melee attack rolls. Wow. So we'll put that in her hand. So she can't use both of them, unfortunately. She has to store 1, but she gets to add white to that attack roll. Event phase. +1 threat. We're now at threat 11. It's too quiet. All quiet and low threat, which we're not. Medium high. Add 2 to the threat level. Ooh, so now we're at threat 13, sorry. So almost in high threat. Okay, so melee phase. We have models in combat, so we're now at high threat. The only combat here is Patrick. Come on, Patrick, you can do it. Let's try and kill Grandpa Walker. So we've got 1 red, and the Walker gets nothing, so he pushes him back. It's enough to cause a damage point, but Walkers are only killed on a headshot, so he's actually not prone. So in the end phase, we would now see what happens. So Patrick is bitten, so I'll throw for that. Nothing happens, he's lucky. And this walker will also stay down. If we rolled a symbol for a badge, he would have stood up. So we've now completed our objectives. We've got all 3 supply tokens and we can go back to Derek. So thanks for watching. It's a bit of an interesting playing solo, but it's quite a cool mechanic. So happy hobbying. So there we have it. I've moved outside because it's an absolutely scorching day today in the UK. So yeah, Sandra and Derek managed to do it, I guess. Derek got bitten and had 1 health point left, so he's probably died on the way back. But either way, great fun game. We're going to assume that they've managed to get back to Derek and reported what happened. And I think I'm going to sort of do a few more ad-lib ones. Maybe Derek will go back with a few more of his men, thinking it's maybe a big warehouse, see what we can get. So really good fun playing it. Thanks for watching. If you want more Walking Dead, let me know. Happy hobbying.